And big surprise, sweets, 11%. But don't we read every day that we should not eat sweets? How it is possible that 11% of the calorie of these people consist of sweets and they get 100 years old? Omega-3 fats are too little. But don't you think we hear every day we should eat omega-3 fatty acids because it is healthy? None of these countries people eat enough omega-3 fatty acid, but all of them get more or less over 100 years old. Think about what that means. These people are not vegetarians, they are not vegans, they eat everything, but very well balanced. That is a new thinking which is not established in the world. There is a famous blue zone in the world where the people get 100 years old or even older. That are 5 countries in Japan, Okinawa, in Greece, Italy, California, and Costa Rica. A lot of scientists are interested to find out what is the reason actually that the people in this blue zone get particularly older. People have written a lot and spoken a lot and then visit those countries and examine their traditional food to understand what they eat so that they get really 100 years old. What is the outcome? Actually nothing. Because you can imagine that the traditional food of Japanese people are totally different than the people in Greece or totally different than people in Costa Rica. Therefore, you cannot compare the dishes with each other. You can also not say that because the people in Greece eat a lot of olive oil, that is the reason for being 100 years old. Because in Japan, the people don't know what is olive oil and they don't eat any olive oil. And that shows that focusing to one parameter is not the key for being 100 years old. First time in the world, I have made a scientific analysis of their traditional dishes and I have found out one common parameter that seems to be the reason for being healthy and living very long. In this video, I am going to show you this scientific analysis and this one parameter. I do research with human cells in the last 25 years in my own laboratory. I test every nutrient with the human cells to see if I can prolong their life. During this time, I have learned one parameter which is always very important. That is, all the nutrients what one cell needs need to be optimally balanced and all the nutrients must be there. Not one nutrient is permitted to be too high or too low. Only then our cells in our body can live very long and can have high energy. And now, keeping this in mind, let's look the food habit of different countries. Let's start with Okinawa. When I look the traditional dishes of Okinawa, I even don't understand what they eat. I have never heard these kind of things, except sweet potatoes. Yes, they eat 67% sweet potatoes and then a lot of rice and vegetables. It is unbelievable. After vegetables, legumes, and then fish and meat, etc., it doesn't play a big role actually. When I look to this number, I see almost 80% or more than 80% of their food consists of carbohydrates. But don't you think that it stays to a contradiction? Internet and YouTube is full with information that we should not eat carbohydrates. We should eat a lot of meat, a lot of proteins, right? It is a lot of information. But these people in Japan show the opposite. And they hardly eat meat or fish. They eat more or less only carbohydrates. Now, let's look these eating habit scientifically, how well are the nutrients balanced. When I compare their dish, I have taken a portion size of 200 grams and then here it seems to be complicated, but don't focus to the details, just focus to the pattern. They are all the nutrients what the cells in our body need. And here in this red area is the concentration, the optimum range of every nutrient actually. That means every nutrient should be theoretically within this red frame. Only then it is in optimal range and the cells in our body can live very long. That is the approach for evaluation. When I look the minerals, some minerals are of course below the optimum, but they are all there. Trace elements are more or less close to the optimum, and amino acids are, especially essential amino acids, are well balanced. Non-essentials are a little bit low, but still very close to the optimum level. Regarding vitamins, all vitamins are there. Some vitamins are much, it is true. And regarding fats, I can say that the people in Japan eat very, very low fat content in their food. And when I look the macronutrients, they are more or less all well balanced because they are all very close to the optimum. Now, the balance factor of all these nutrients is 81%. That means 81% of all the nutrients are close or within the optimum. And that is an enormously high number actually for the Japanese people. Let's look Italy. Very nice food, which I love, but how well is this food balanced? And before that, we look what they eat. They eat, of course, whole grains, a lot of bread, and dairy, 26%. It is enormously high. And YouTube, internet is full also with information that we should be careful by dairies. We should not eat too much, but these people eat a lot. 26% of their food comes or consists of dairies. And then they have fish and meat, of course, and legumes, and then the other things like fruits, and don't play a very big role. How is it scientifically when we look how well is it balanced? And here we can see actually trace elements are good balance, and minerals are close to the optimum. Amino acids, some of them are high, but more or less they are all close to the optimum. And vitamins, there are some vitamins, they are too much, for example, this vitamin D or vitamin B12, but all vitamins are there, but there is a certain imbalance, that is true. Fats are close to the optimum, and macronutrients are perfectly balanced. Dietary fiber and protein and fat, everything is within optimum. Then no surprise that the people live also long in Sardinia. How is it in Greece? It was a surprise for me. Why? Look what they eat. They eat vegetables, 20%, green vegetables, 17%, fruits and legumes, potatoes, up to here, that are all vegetables actually. More than 80% what they eat are vegetables. Thereafter they have a little bit fish and then olive oil. Olive oil is a lot, 6%. Actually, more or less they eat vegetables and olive oil. It is enormously actually big surprise. How well is it balanced in terms of nutrients? And here we can see trace elements are actually well balanced. The minerals are also close to the optimum. Amino acids are fantastically balanced. That are the non-essential amino acids. That means even if they are too little, our cells can produce those amino acids, but they are not little. They are very close to optimum. Vitamins, fantastic. All the vitamins are there. Some vitamins are too much, for example, vitamin K, but vitamin K is something which our body can wash out if it is too much. That means even if we eat something too much, the body can take it, and everything which is too much, it will be washed out. Fats, they are there, but more or less under the optimum, and macronutrients are also well balanced. Actually, there is no extreme abbreviation from optimum. That is Greece. What about the Costa Rica? Costa Rica, I didn't know what they eat, and that is their traditional food. And here, that is again a surprise. They eat a lot of whole grains and 24% dairy. Again and again, I am surprised to read that the dairy can be so much and still the people get more than 100 years old. And they eat vegetables and, big surprise, sweets, 11%. But don't we read every day that we should not eat sweets? How it is possible that 11% of the calorie of these people consist of sweets and they get 100 years old? Big surprise. And what about with nutritional profile? Let's look at. And here we can see minerals very well balanced, and trace elements very well balanced. Actually, they are maybe one trace element too little. Amino acids are very well balanced. Some of them are too much, but it is still very close to the optimum. And vitamins are all there. Some vitamins are too much, but be careful. If water soluble vitamin is too much, it will be washed out from the body. And the fats are, some of them, especially omega-3 fats, are little, but the others are in optimum. And macronutrients are not balanced. Very important. What is in macronutrients not balanced? The sugar. Look here, the sugar is extremely high, more than what is recommended by authorities, more than what our cells need. And people get still 100 years old. Don't you think it is a surprise? Unbelievable. Well, let's look at the Californian people, and Loma Linda in California, a certain area where the people get really very old, and we look again, vegetables, fruits, legumes, and dairy. Again, dairy, 10%, and then whole grains, actually here there is nothing special, but also these people eat a lot of vegetables, whole grains, and fruits, including the dairy. How's the balancing factor? And here we can see minerals, trace elements very close to optimum, and amino acids are perfectly balanced. It is unbelievable, very good. Vitamins, perfect, very close to optimum. Some vitamins are too much because of too much vegetables, but it will be washed out by fats. Fats are always too little actually what they eat, especially the omega-3 fats. Omega-3 fats are too little. But don't you think we hear every day we should eat omega-3 fatty acids because it is healthy? None of these countries people eat enough omega-3 fatty acid, but all of them get more or less over 100 years old. Think about what that means. Macronutrients, it cannot be better. Fantastically balanced, the carbohydrates, the fiber, the protein, the sugar, everything is in optimum. And that, no surprise that the people get more than 100 years old. Now, as comparison, I have put also our traditional Western food. How well is it then balanced? I have taken McDonald's cheeseburger with French fries, and I have made an analysis. Let's look, if you eat 200 grams of this food, how well is it balanced? Look here the minerals first. Sodium and chloride, extremely high, out of the range, even out of this scale. And the other minerals are there, that is true, but two are them, they bring everything out of the balance. What about the trace elements? Look here, several trace elements are very, very low. Some of them are in optimum, that is true. Let's come to amino acids, the proteins. Actually, amino acids are too much. It is, most of them are out of the range. Non-essential amino acids are in optimum, that is true. And what about vitamins? Vitamins, all are too little, except these vitamin B3. And actually, completely out of the range, everything. Look, only one vitamin is in optimum. Everything else is too little or too much. And fats, yes, we have in a cheeseburger a lot of fat, especially saturated fat. Look, the macronutrients, unbelievable. Dietary fiber, almost non-existing. And the fat is too much. And that is completely out of the range, actually out of the balance. And that is the reason why my software says balance scale is 26%. That means if you eat this food, 26% of all nutrients are in a range which your cells can take optimally. Everything else is out of the range. If you eat, therefore, this kind of food every day, you bring your body out of the balance. And that is most likely the reason why this kind of food is not healthy. This is my last slide. That is also the take-home message actually. What is common in these blue zone countries? Is it their dish? No. You cannot eat, I don't know, olive oil in Japan. They don't have it. Even if they have it, it is not in tradition. It is too expensive. But in Greece, you can eat it. It grows there. It is not very expensive. The common approach between blue zone countries is that their food are very well balanced regarding all the nutrients. All the 90, 80 nutrients what we know, they are so perfectly balanced so that the cells in our body can take these nutrients perfectly and live longer. It is not important what you eat. It is important how well are those dishes balanced. And in comparison to these traditional countries, I have put the cheeseburger and you can see 26%. What dramatic difference is there? It is, from this video, the key message that it is not important if you eat like a crazy sweet potatoes, or if you eat a little bit sweets, not important. And it is not important if you eat meat or cheese or fish, because also there are a lot of propaganda. Don't eat this, don't eat this. And these people eat everything. These people are not vegetarians. They are not vegans. They eat everything, but very well balanced. That is a new thinking which is not established in the world. And through my analysis, I am bringing this new idea. For you, your blue zone is actually in your kitchen. You don't need to go to Japan and live there in order to live 100 years old. You don't need to eat, I don't know, Sardinian food at home, because then you would live 100 years. No, you eat your traditional food in your kitchen. The only thing what you need to do is well balance all the nutrients, and then your kitchen will be the blue zone. Over decades, I have made tests with human cells in my own laboratory, and I could prolong the life of our cells with nutrients. And now I have started sharing my experiences in my weekly videos. If you subscribe my channel, you will get the meaning of nutrients from cellular perspective. Please subscribe my channel now.